Welcome back to PipeCast. This is another filler episode. Today we're doing GLP's / Gawith Hogarth Samuel Gawith's Stonehenge. Why don't we cut to that backhoe and break it down?
That backhoe? All right, this is Stonehenge Flake from GLP's. It is a collaboration with Samuel Gawith. Now you can tell the cut is a little bit more of a, interesting enough, it's more of a German Scandinavian type cut. I am not sure if it was cut at at the Gawith Hogarth Company, or if it was cut at Cornell and Deal or somewhere else over here in the Americas. But it's a lot more uniform style cut, not the rustic style that we're used to. It is a Virginia Perique with burley in it, and as you can tell, it seems to be a little bit brighter than the other vapors that we've been looking at, the Lakeland vapors. That's probably a combination of bright Virginia and probably maybe burley. But then, you still have those darker areas with the Perique and the red Virginia. If we back it up, you can see we still have the red Virginia, we have the bright Virginia, the Perique, and now we've added in some burley. Now, burley is, a little bit lighter than Perique, sort of in the same vein with the red Virginia, but that definitely could make up some of this lighter area. I don't know what the percentages are, of course, but we'll get into that in the review.
We're back from that backhoe review that we just did, since I can't speak apparently. So the tobacco, I think that this is another great example of the rustic flake that Gawith produces. Like I said, this is a collaboration between Pease and Gawith. I think this was formed in 2001, limited run. I think about 1,500 2-ounce tins, and then they ended up go ahead and producing it. It is created, the blend is blended, I should say, in England. It is then imported to Cornell and Deal, where it is tinned. So a little bit of a cross collaboration thing going on. The reason why we brought Stonehenge in, which so not to confuse anyone, this is a Pease blend, but the blending house is not Cornell and Deal, it is Gawith. So, Pease collaborated, and it is tinned in the States, it's just not blended here. But the reason we're bringing this in today is because we're doing sort of a triptych of Handsome Flake, Stonehenge, and St. James Flake, doing a little Gawith comparison. So this is Patrick's first review.
Yeah.
What you think?
Well, so the tin description, you said goes into a little bit of cocoa?
It has a little cocoa flavoring, Virginia Perique, and a touch of burley.
So, just as in the essence of transparency, this is right off the heels of Handsome Flake. And the only thing I can do is compare it to it. And no cocoa at all. There, in Handsome Flake, there was maybe the essence of it a little bit. There's no cocoa in this that I can tell. The Perique is pulled back a little bit. It's not as upfront. I think you get a little bit more of the burley in the Virginia. It's just sort of generic, but not in a bad way. Like, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think Handsome Flake better. Probably just because I like the Perique. Mm-hmm. I like the forwardness of the Perique. I don't know. There's really not a lot going on. It's just, it feels Virginia burley-ish with a little bit of Perique. I like the idea of it. So in a sense, this is basically a Gawith blend, but Pease, created the percentages and the components. Is all really.
And whatever toppings might be on it.
So he sort of said, "This is the playbook. You run it."
Right.
And then they did it. and you know,
And it's hot pressed,
okay,
you know.
it definitely to me feels more like a Gawith blend than a typical Pease blend. But yeah, it's just very middle of the road. Call it maybe like a Weber, very middle of the road Weber. I think Windjammer's better than this. I think trying to think of other more burley heavy stuff or Virginia burley stuff. But yeah, I guess Windjammer is the closest thing I can think of. I think Windjammer and Handsome Flake are better than this. But this isn't bad though. I still would smoke this over probably more times than not. I would smoke this over a Scudo or any of the medallion, the Weber medallions, and I probably smoke it over Elizabethan and stuff like that. Orlick Flake, Orlick Flake's enough different, but yeah, this is good. This is fine. So that's my first review.
All right, so as Patrick did, I'm going to review a little bit of Handsome Flake. And we're doing this sort of in no particular order. I do think Handsome is a little bit better than Stonehenge. Interestingly enough, Stonehenge to me is described sort of like what I think smoke. Its description to me is like Handsome Flake. The cocoa and stuff is there in the essence of Handsome Flake. There's not a lot of essence in Handsome Flake. It's like a 3 puff and dissipates. Stonehenge doesn't have that at all. I think that the cocoa that people are hinting at actually comes out in the burley, which to me makes the blend fuller when smoked. The reason I wanted to do this flake comparison is because I think that the Pipes and Cigars Handsome Flake and the Stonehenge by Pease is what is it's like someone's trying to grasp or figure out what makes the next flake that we're going to review, St. James Flake, so great. And they're just missing the mark. And I think that's because, and I can't be proof, there's no proof of this, but like, I think it's because they're just not used to the types of tobacco that Gawith or English blending houses get. I think that those African strains or Malawi or whatever that they acquire are so completely different from, say, Canadian or North American Virginias, and there obviously there could be stocks from other places, but I think that those types of those leaf strains, the terroir or whatever of the French, like whatever the soil variation or whatever mechanics are, the English and the Scandinavians, they've dialed that in. An American probably isn't accustomed to those types of leaves, and I don't think they're hitting that balance mark. Now, I could be way off because maybe Gawith actually blended everything for Pipes and Cigars, but it is not, it's completely dissimilar from St. James Flake. Stonehenge is fine. I don't think the burley does it any favors, which is kind of strange because like you smoke Windjammer, it's really amazing, but Stonehenge, it just doesn't cut it. I don't know if it's because it deserves some rum, or the cocoa just isn't there, or it might be just like he doesn't. I don't want to say he doesn't understand the mechanics of the leaf. Pease understands more than I could ever taste. I feel like maybe there's a slight disconnect that just didn't happen, and I think that his leaf is whatever is grabbed up by Cornell and Dill, and not necessarily what's grabbed up by Gawith and Hogarth. It's not bad. It's probably the most middle of the road Virginia Perique burley that I've ever had. The burley just makes the smoke a little fuller, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't like advance it in any way. I can't really taste any cocoa. Slight peppery. The Virginia is muted more so than it was in Handsome Flake, and it's not all over the place. It's very, like, the good thing about Gawith and Hogarth is they do have a consistent blend throughout the bowl, but it's consistently mediocre. I just don't go out of my way. I mean, this Stonehenge that we're smoking, I bought 2 years ago, and it tastes about the same with 2 years of age on it. I'm not super ecstatic about it. I just tinned it, and I haven't really done anything with it in a while. Like Patrick was asking, do you have Stonehenge? And I thought I was going to have to go buy some. And I just checked my reserves, and sure enough, there was some in there. And it's essentially an entire tin. I think I smoked 2 or 3 flakes and just whatever. I only revisited it for these fillers, and I still, I was doing uh, basically I'd smoke Handsome, Stonehenge, and then St. James, and I would just sort of rotate just to kind of get an idea of them. And yeah, I mean, Stonehenge was far and away kind of my least favorite uh, from the other two, and Handsome isn't really that great. I think Handsome and Stonehenge are similar in that they don't seem to jive with the blends like Louisiana Flake or St. James Flake. We're not doing a Louisiana Flake review, but they're not there. So my opinion is that Stonehenge is fine, but you'd be better served to buy Fillmore if you're looking for something, or Windjammer if you're looking for finesse, like the Pease finesse.
Yeah.
He's good. I don't want to like not everyone's going to slam dunk, and this could be just as bad on Gawith and Hogarth, just like the Pipes and Cigars Handsome Flake it could be on Gawith and Hogarth. It's just they're not slam dunks. Not that bad. They're just it's just a blend that I mean, it just doesn't. It's not a characteristic vapor or vapor per, or it doesn't stand out. It doesn't hold weight like Elizabethan might, for all day, or something that you want to constantly return to. I would point in Pease's case to Fillmore.
Do you think that because you mentioned in the previous filler, the one with Handsome Flake, that you were sort of excited by the idea of it, right?
Yes.
So when you found out about Stonehenge, I guess you were pretty excited. You're like, well, that's a Pease blend and a...
Yep.
So I'm wondering, this is conspiracy maybe. It might not even be that conspiracy. It might just be pretty evident. But you talking about how they're sort of trying to achieve something that they already have with St. James. Gawith already has with St. James Flake and Louisiana Flake. Do you think it's just more of a marketing ploy? Just there's things outside of the blend that's making it intriguing, right? Stonehenge, it's a collaboration between one of the great American blenders, Pease, and this mainstay of English tobacco. And it's like, oh, we better get some of that. And same with Handsome Flake. Hey, it's Gawith, and they're doing this limited thing that you can only get, or it's not limited, but you can only get it at Pipes and Cigars. Is it all just money grabs? I mean, it's still good tobacco, but at the end of the day.
Okay, so I don't want to be like, I'm already pessimistic enough in my regular life, and sort of a curmudgeon when it comes to certain things. I really don't have a lot of high regard for marketing and the way things are presented to me, or the way things are everything seems like a grift, like someone's trying to sell something to me. I try really hard not to do that with tobacco. I want to believe that a tobacconist, because I feel like we're like the last stand in like certain freedoms and relaxations, and like certain just it's already an odd hobby. So there doesn't seem to be a place in my heart to badmouth it. Is there money involved? Is the question in collaboration? Yes. Gawith and Hogarth have a great reputation. GLP's has a great reputation. Pipes and Cigars, they're just a reputable seller. I don't have any problems with them. So yeah, there's going to be some money involved in it. I don't think that anybody who has a company or a brand, they're going to want to make money. That's a fact. You can't get around it. That's just where we are in the world. But I don't think I don't think that any of these organizations are going to do themselves much favor, Gawith and Hogarth, GLPs, or Pipes and Cigars, by just distributing crap. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just a money grab, I mean, what is it? That's good for a year. I'd be more likely to believe in that being the case for like Latakia rolls, which is a limited. And it was good. I'm just saying, like, if I'd be more leery of these limited small batch things. They seem like the money grab. They seem like the thing that I'm not going to turn towards until I've like heard a bunch about it, you know?
Yeah.
This, since these are like Stonehenge's, I can get it. It's not a problem. The
But now it
Handsome
started
Flake.
out as a limited.
That's right. But I mean, they're producing
Yeah,
it full time.
but that was
you know?
2001. You said.
That's 2001, yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
So, I mean, you know, you go back to 2001, I could get Bohemian Scandal and stuff, you know. I mean, like, but like, you know, so it was limited then, you know, whatever. It's back. I can get it regularly. I've seen it in several places. I can get Handsome Flake whenever I want. St. James is really difficult to get, but whatever. With that said, you know, I don't think that this is just totally a money grab. I don't think it's just spiritual. I just think this was a good opportunity to collaborate, and they missed the mark.
Yeah.
I don't think they're trying to like fleece anyone. I could be wrong, but I like to believe that people who produce my tobacco, the tobacco that I buy, are looking to get people to buy things out of enjoyment, not out of money grabs.
Now, while I don't think it is a fleece, that was just a question I was posing. However, there is something to be said that when you are time and time again known for the quality of your blends and the quality of the tobacco you use, as in the case with Gawith and GLPs, it does seem easier to pull off a fleece.
Yeah,
Because it's not going to be crap. Because it's not crap.
but that's the thing. Stonehenge isn't bad.
It's not bad.
They're not, there's nothing wrong with the tobaccos. It's just not the blend that I wouldn't go for it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, when you are so confident in your tobacco, it's going to be good on the, not the elemental level, but I guess it is the elemental level. The tobaccos are good.
Mm-hmm.
They're good. It could be easier to pull the wool over someone and just be like, we just threw this together to make money, but we know the tobacco is good enough to stand on its own. But is it really bringing anything new to the market? Is it really doing anything like this?
Right.
I'm not saying it is.
I mean,
that.
that's a perfect example. Kobe beef, best beef in the world, right? You
That Japanese beef?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can still burn it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that the beef's bad,
No.
but you can't cook it. That's the problem. You know, it tastes bad because someone couldn't cook Kobe beef well. So the leaf is good. It just didn't turn out right when the blend.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the quality of the leaf, and I stand by that for Stonehenge and for Handsome Flake. I just don't think they knew how to cook it.
Yeah.
And that's just an opinion. So, you know, take that however you want it. I personally think that Handsome and Stonehenge, spoiler alert, doesn't stack up to St. James, which we'll get into on the next filler.
Yeah. So stick around. We'll see you next time when we do St. James Flake.